looking to have a decent day today, at least on the crypto side. Crypto looking to do a little better than the traditional markets here. So just checking my always check my live feed on X, since that's where most people decent day today, at least on the crypto. Okay, looking good over there. Let's put a little GM in there for the morning. Man, Friday, it blows me away. It's already the 10th. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. 10th of July, man. The last couple of weeks are just nuts. But anyway, let's take a look at the welcome, everybody. In trying to end this week out strong, we've got, of course, the big news in the stock markets. This SK Hynix, big microchip manufacturer out of Korea. They're going to be investing in a big plant here, like $4 billion, I believe. I believe that opens today. But anyway, the NASDAQ right now, we've been open about 8 minutes now. Sorry, my restream that I used to stream to all these platforms was a little slow this morning. I don't know why. It sometimes does that. But anyway, the NASDAQ up 0.07. I call that kind of flat. The Dow 0.11, fairly flat as well, and the S&P 0.15. So I'm going to call this a flat opening for the opening. Crude 72.10, that's up 0.03. So that's flat, everything flat. And that also tells us when things were going good, the war was, there's some ceasefire talks. We were around the 68, 69 range. So not good. Hey, Scott from the Heine community there. He runs a great morning show, 8:30 every morning over there. I'm on it every day, listening or talking, but usually preparing for this show. But they always say, thank Heine, it's Friday. So good to see you, Scott. Also helps co-host my show most days, since my other two co-hosts been with me for 4 years, or out almost 5 years, are out mining fiat. In other words, they're working a little more IRL so they can buy some more Bitcoin. Can't blame them. Encourage them to do that. Just for fun, SpaceX up 148 or 148.83. It's down a couple percent. STRC 85.51 up 1%. So, Michael Saylor, not been much talk. At least he put the talk and the FUD kind of to the back burner and let him work, buy himself some time while Bitcoin comes back. But let's take a look over at Bitcoin. On the daily, looking really solid. 64,276. You see, about an hour ago, it hit 64,517. I'll certainly take that. Gonna lose my little picture-in-picture down there. It always seems a little laggy. Don't know why, because I'm on fiber optics here. Anyway, lighting isn't great anyway. So yeah, I'll take that. If we can hold this, I said earlier on my TikTok update, if we can hold this through the morning, through the session today and through the weekend, we can close at these higher levels. You never know going into the low volume weekend, but that would be great. Ethereum 1799.91. Let's just call it 1800. Up 3.5% today. So one of the big winners today is Ethereum, man. Shout out to Ethereum. Got a story. Tom Lee's buying more. XRP, $1.10.81. Let's call it $1.11, up 1%. Take that, especially on a Friday. Solana, 78.94, up 1.5%. So not too bad. Got almost to $80. Early, good stuff, man. Good, solid. I mean, how can we complain? Let's take a look at Ansem. And the reason I'm kind of watching Ansem is, number one, I've been buying some. I may get out on this pump, to be honest. I'm not sure. I'll see. But this Ansem, now he disappeared for a day, didn't talk, and people started to get scared. Plus, there's all this Robinhood. We've been talking about Robinhood, people jumping over there, trading their meme coins over there. They've got that cash cat. Got an article about that. But, it's centralized, but it is representing, at least on the short term, a move over there. I mean, this got all the way down 185.49. I was DCAing the whole way down, just playing this a little short term, but this is kind of a good indicator, I think, of between, honestly, right now between Solana and Robinhood to judge how it's affecting it, right? But anyway, it was kind of hard to buy those dips below 200. But now they're going to pay off. Like I said, I'm probably out. I've been buying the dip all the way down. Well, I may even get out after the show. We'll see. But I'm going to keep an eye. It's a good indicator. And, of course, good friend Jason A. Williams, his Bitcoin bull, 4.6 million. Kind of was in a range yesterday between about 5, might even have got 5.5, I can't remember, down to about 3.9. We've been in that range accumulating for a couple of days. Our holders now around 1,000. I'm sure there's more than that. I think Dex Screener's a little slow on that. But why does it's interesting. Why does that chart work for Ansem? It doesn't work very good for TBB. Anyway, having some fun with that, talking a lot about it, bull posting about it, making some memes. It's all good. But anyway, that's nice. 4.6. He's kind of copied Ansem, what he's done, and obviously much lower market cap. I think it'll garner some attention. Probably another reason I'm kind of voting for. Obviously, I'm voting for Ansem because I'm a Solana bull as well as I've got good position in this. Man, I don't know why this chart just does not want to read good. Anyway, that's weird. But anyway, because the Ansem chart looks great. But anyway, that's kind of the story if you're following at home. Okay, 984 holders. Okay, just under 1,000 holders. So that's good. Jason, he's been doing some spaces. He did his own space night before last. Yesterday, he was on another space, but, he gets thousands of people over the space. Even if he's just joking around, new people are finding out about him, following him. They're seeing him reposting and bull posting about it. TBB is the ticker. I don't know. I think it goes higher. We'll see. You never know with these. This is kind of like money you'd spend on a weekend in Vegas. But anyway, so I would call this a great start, to be honest with you. Fear and greed at 20, no change from yesterday. Still extreme fear. Yesterday, of course, France beat Morocco 2-1. I heard on Scott's show, our buddy Steph, who's our TA guy over there, helps me out as well. He as well has got a part-time summer gig. He's in the hospitality business, doing a little extra, working a little side gig to get some extra money to buy some more Bitcoin and whatnot. But anyway, he said Morocco gave a little too much respect to France, didn't come out as hard as they probably should, didn't look as good as they have the rest. But anyway, shout out to Morocco. I don't know, small country to be making it that far, but that's cool. But anyway, France moves on to the round of 4, I guess. Quarterfinals, I guess you'd call that. So that's cool. First team to move on. And today, Spain and Belgium. I've got to help my nephew move. I don't know if hopefully I'll get back in time to watch that, but I'm excited about that. And our buddy Steph from Belgium. My family's originally from Spain on my mom's side, but I think I'll be voting for Belgium, but that should be good. And then a big one on Saturday, Norway and England. I think I'm going to Norway because my wife's got some family from there. So I think I'll have to go with Norway, but shout out thing. These are all good. It all gets fun at these levels. And I love to see their fans, some of the fans are voting for America from Norway. So now they've got me over voting. But anyway, it's all good. I think there's going to be some really good football ahead. So it gives us something to do. We're waiting for our bags to pump or at least hopefully hold. Jack Mahler, I don't know if this came out a day or two or just came out early this morning, but he's obviously cool dude, young kid, always wearing a hoodie out there, but he's saying their strike company, who's also a partner, I believe, in USDC somehow. But anyway, Strike introduced they're a Bitcoin company. They introduced BTC loans that can never liquidate no matter how volatile. So that's good. I don't know much about it, but very interesting, right? Because you worry, I don't know what the credit, the capital reserves are, all that stuff, but interesting concept, right? Because then what's good about these loans is then if you need to do something, say you have a bunch of Bitcoin, you want to improve your house, you want to take a vacation, you want to do whatever, but you don't want to sell your Bitcoin. There's a way to do that, and it takes away some of the sell pressure. So love to see this. I think it's a way of the future. People won't have to sell their Bitcoin. You don't want to have that tax thing, and sometimes the interest you pay is all tax write-off. What a lot of wealthy people do with real estate and stuff like that. So, IEA says global oil demand is set to fall this year for the first time since COVID-19 pandemic. So, because of course no one was going anywhere, people couldn't go places, right? So IEA, that's International, I think, Energy Administration, says Iran war disruption reversed IEA's forecast from 850 to growth of 1 million decline in demand, whatever BPD. But basically, that's about a 15% of people just saying, I'm not going to drive anymore. Maybe they're working from home. Maybe they're carpooling. Maybe they're got more. Maybe they sold their Suburban and bought a little more efficient car. I don't know. Whatever the reason, this is not totally elastic demand, right? When the price goes up, people are cutting back. Maybe some companies going out of business. I don't know, right? Maybe whatever they're doing, the demand, that's about a 15% decrease in demand for oil. As things get so expensive, people have to start backing off. And that's the kind of the overall slowing the economy that's not good. But anyway, that was big news today. Thought we'd at least talk about it. By the way, welcome everyone listening live on X and YouTube. My buddy Scott here in the comments. Of course, he's a longtime friend from X and even helps me co-host my show over there. But he's coming to me on YouTube, which helps me out because I haven't done a bunch to really push. I'm just getting some content out there. I don't know. I haven't really tried to really focus on how to get a bunch more followers over there. I'm focusing more kind of on TikTok. And obviously I live on X. So been there for, 10 years. Got a bigger following over there. So that's why I appreciate you guys live listening there as well. This is interesting. Oh, hey, Heine. Thank Heine. It's Friday. That's Mr. Heine, the founder of the Heine Coin community. It's a great community. Also, he does a daily walking, talking video. It's great. And I really appreciate these guys always supporting me, doing good things out here in the space. Check this out. Polymarket seeks approval to launch crypto-style margin trading. Polymarket has filed for an FCM license to launch margin trading in the U.S., allowing users to open positions with less capital up front. So here's the deal. You got $1,000 in your account. You can trade at 100x if you want, but we've seen how bad that is for crypto, right? I don't think high leverage, and it probably wouldn't be like 100x. You're probably talking 3, 4, 5x. But basically, you just get liquidated, right? Just like we see on the crypto perps exchanges. And man, we, for the most part, tell people to stay away from it unless you really, really, really know what you're doing, which is almost nobody. You got to stay away from that high leverage or any leverage at all. So I don't know if this is going to fly, but do we really want these degenerates, gambling on football games and stuff, or predicting. I don't know. I don't know if it'll fly. I don't think it'll be the crazy because they're trying to do it regulated. But man, imagine that. Now we got people betting on the World Cup 100x odds. But I mean, it's just problem is it gets manipulated and there's just so little for air. What happens is with all these things, the odds are constantly changing, right? So I don't know. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a great thing. But anyway, interesting. Poly market is becoming very, very interesting, though, very, very part. We talk about it almost daily here, whether it's just utilizing the information or whatever. But man, Circle, this is big news. Circle receives final U.S. approval to establish a crypto-focused trust bank. After previously receiving conditional approval, Circle has now secured final OCC to establish a national trust bank. As a federally regulated bank, Circle National Trust will custody its own USDC reserves and hold crypto assets on behalf of institutional clients. CRCL surged 12% pre-market. They're the ones who own, of course, USDC, right? But what we're seeing emerging banks wanting to get into crypto, and now actually a crypto bank, a crypto company becoming a bank. So this is what the banks are really afraid of, right? So I've been wanting to buy some Circle in my wife, or have my wife buy it in her Robinhood account, honestly, with the idea of getting some exposure to the stablecoin, regulated stablecoin market. But this is a big one. Now they're a full-blown bank. I don't know if they can get into fractional reserves and all that stuff, but they're becoming a full-blown bank. So pretty good stuff. I'll show you. Kathy Woods jumped on that bandwagon. She's been on that bandwagon for a while. But according to Crypto Quant, Bitcoin spot selling pressure is easing as buy pressure returns near the short-term holder cost basis, potentially signaling a new accumulation phase. So, yeah, that's there's a few different Crypto Quant companies. There's Crypto Quant. There's Glassnode. You can subscribe to these and get all kinds of data points and stuff. But this just shows we're starting accumulation phase. I think when we look at Bitcoin, where we're at, though we all admit we know this thing could go down to, $50. Everyone thinks it's going to. Most people think it'll hit 50 before it hits 100. And it may or may not. But look at this. Now we're back up for the daily, the all-time high, almost the all-time high, 64,576. So I don't know. That's pretty good for, all this gloom and doom talk, which still may happen. Don't get me wrong. Understand this. Nobody knows exactly. I've been here for 15 years. I do my best every day to kind of get a feel looking at all the data points and stuff like that. But nobody absolutely knows. But I don't care because I believe in it long term. All I care about is where is Bitcoin in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't care. So I'm okay to feel the short-term pain of going down, though it's not fun by any means, right? But I don't try and time the market. I adhere to the saying, time in the market is better than timing the market. So we're talking about it, but hopefully you're long-term investing and you're not worried about it. Jason A. Williams, he was on the show the other day, and he was saying he's got a lot of he's in stable or cash, however you want to call it. I'm sure he's in stable, but waiting to buy. And that doesn't mean he doesn't have a lot of long-term exposure, that he's had for years and years. Because since I've known him for 10 years, he's been buying hundreds and hundreds of Bitcoin way down. I'm sure he's not selling those because of the tax consequences, but he is. His trading portfolio right now is in cash, waiting for Bitcoin to go lower. So most people, if they're trading a lot, trying to get out, most people still consider us in the buy zone. So, play a traditional market, see if they've changed at all. NASDAQ's turned slightly negative. Looks like. Yeah, it's flat. It's flat, It's what I'm seeing. It's positive 0.02, Dow 0.11. Yeah, I call that as flat a day as you can find, right? So that's good. If it holds there, I'll take it. Yeah, there's Circle, CRCL 6715, up 6.66. That's ominous. That's an ominous number. And let's check on Ansem. Ansem, 236. Yeah, I might have to get out. I'm going to at least exit some of my position, take some profits on the buying that dip. And 4.6 still for the Bitcoin bull. I really think this can hit. I think this can hit 10 to 20, 30, maybe more. It all depends on other conditions as well, but I just like it. But I'm kind of calling it a beta play to Ansem. That's why I'm paying so much attention to Ansem. I might be delusional. I don't know. But anyway, we won't wait for that security check. We'll jump back into the news here. My buddy Crypto Man Ran Nooner over there in Cape Town, South Africa. One of the biggest YouTubers out there. I've been in the business a lot. When I first met him, he had a TV show on like CNBC or something, Africa, talking about crypto. But he said, I love how Vlad Tenev waited for Ansem to fire up the trenches and then timed his launch perfectly to rug the liquidity. I'm backing Ansem for a comeback. So there you have it. We'll see. I do. I don't know. I don't know if, you got centralized. It's hard. You got to bridge over. You got to learn how to do that. It's centralized. People are remembering how they froze people's funds and stuff. I don't know. I mean, it might just make the pie bigger, but short term, it's interesting. And Rand even posted why are you making a new chain? You could have done all this on public chain. But, we have intranets and intranets. None of the intranets worked back in the .com days. But let's hit the last news. Backpack launched 24 trading tokenized U.S. stocks settling on Solana. So, point Solana. We've got Tom Lee buys another 20,500, 35, almost 36 million Ethereum from Galaxy Digital. OTC. Goldman Sachs is barring a lot of their employees from trading for financial events, so they don't get pegged for insider trading. Kathy Woods, check this out. Yesterday, she sold Robinhood and bought Circle. So Robinhood pumps 2 days ago with the new chain. She rides a pump, sells it, then buys a bunch of Circle yesterday before it jumped 6 to 15% today. And she owns both of these, but that's like a Nancy Pelosi level trading right there. Perfect timing. North Carolina is going to hit prediction market with a 6% tax. Okay, you make it legal, we're going to tax you. So interesting. And interesting. Qatar's pushing to prevent another U.S.-Iran war. Regional mediators are making a fresh push Friday to pull Washington Tehran back for a renewed conflict after days of strikes across the Qatar, which helped broker last minute, is reportedly in talks to de-escalate. So hope that happens. We'll keep an eye on the markets and oil to know if it's working or not. And this is crazy. This is the shit that'll make you go mental. A trader who sold 20 million cash cat for a 10x profit, bought them for 7, sold them for 711. If he had held, he would have made 2.7 million when it pumped a few days later. That stuff will make you go crazy. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday.